Thank you, Beth, and thank you, Carly. We are going to chat now to what we chatted earlier on today to Steph, the current Community and Wellbeing Officer. And joining me now is current Community and Wellbeing Officer Steph Hayle. Thank you for being here.
No worries, glad to be here.
And before we get on to sort of general election and SAB stuff, I would start off with the story that's been dominating sort of campus and for a while national news, and that is coronavirus.
Yes.
And in particular, the posts made recently on the site YourFest, including one, just read a segment that said that the Chinese were swarming in and killing us. And that's obviously, that's horrible language to hear. What should USU's response be to language like that being published by students?
Well, I think this is one of the difficulties, is that none of the YourFest platforms are ratified societies. None of them are administered by anybody involved in the management of USU or the university. It's all student run. And that makes it really, really difficult because actually there's not much that you can do in terms of taking action the normal ways. You can't put them through the same process as you could if they were a normal student group. I think it's one of those really interesting ones because, I mean, let's be real, for the last few years, YourFest has been posting, frankly, hate speech, all types of YourFest. Every single one of them has posted some form of hate speech. They've all posted bullying and harassment. They've all enabled absolute horrific stuff to our students. Like, you see the responses, and I've had dozens of students who've come and spoken to me about bullying they've received from YourFest. And the platform administrators are enabling this. They're actively enabling people's mental health to suffer. I think that's really, really abysmal. I think they should be really ashamed of themselves. In terms of what USU can do, I think what we need to be looking at is how we deal with law enforcement to deal with actual criminal hate speech, because that is one of the really important things that's been coming out of this coronavirus issue, is we've been seeing actual xenophobic hate speech. That is a crime. And quite frankly, we should be taking them to the police in some of these situations. So
if you knew, say, for example, or one of us knew the name of a YourFest administrator, someone who's chosen to publish this material, just to be clear, what should you do? What should we do?
Well, I think if it's somebody you know who's enabling hate speech, then you should be reporting them. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter who they are. If they're an admin of YourFest, if they're saying it in your group chat, if they're saying it in your block, or they're your housemate. If somebody is enabling bullying or hate speech or oppression or just any form that is going to actively oppress our students, you should be reporting them.
Absolutely. And we'll sort of pivot now and talk about the past 2 years you've had in the role.
Oh, hopefully happier.
when you're taking sort of a look back at from the first candidate interview night you did 2 years ago to where we are today.
Back in the day.
What are the few things that you think, I'm quite proud I did that?
I'm proud of the rent cuts. I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of the work I've been doing with Circuit Laundry. I'm proud of the work that buses has done. The fact that now the city is limiting cars, it's changing all of our buses to eco-friendly. A lot of the stuff I've done has been really long-term and stuff that I'm hoping the next me will be carrying on. So fingers crossed. I'm really proud of the scholarship work that I've done. I've met a number of people actually who are only at the university because of the scholarships that I helped raise. So that really got me, actually, knowing that the work I'd done had actively changed their lives. And
looking back at I'm sure over the past 2 years, are there things that you think, if I'd known what I know now, I would have done that differently? I would have gone about things in a different way?
Oh, 100%. Like, the first 6 months you spend in the role are essentially you learning who to speak to and how to speak to people and how to lobby. Like, nobody comes in knowing the stuff they need to know, because, how on earth are you meant to know exactly who in the VC's office you need to speak to get something done? I would definitely have started doing my bigger campaigns sooner and galvanising the support that you get in that first term. The first term's a really tricky one to get stuff done in because everyone's really settling in. But I'd like to have been able to start some of my stuff earlier, and particularly being able to start research earlier, because that takes so long.
Yeah. And I suppose you make that point, and a lot of people have. And I remember it being quite a novel thing when you reran last year. And now we have 2 SABs rerunning.
I know, it's exciting.
Is it a nice trend to see sort of more SABs going for a second year to try and cement what they've done?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're a trendsetter?
Oh, I hope I'm a trendsetter. No, I think it really is. York's really rare in the fact that we don't usually have rerunning SABs. Like, incumbents going back in, that's really rare here, but it's really common in pretty much every other uni. I think it'd be really good because, again, the first 6 months you spend learning everything. So I was in the position of rerunning where my first 6 months this year, I was spent doing things. The first day of my second term, I got £16,000 in compensation for students. Like, you wouldn't be able to do that any other way. Yeah. So I think it's a really good trend to see, and hopefully future SABs will continue to rerun and share their expertise with new teams.
I suppose the final thing, we've got about 30 seconds left in this, and looking at sort of the next you, as you said earlier, what do you want to see from the next you in these interviews, in the rest of the campaign?
Somebody who appreciates that the role is not just wellbeing, it is community and wellbeing. Somebody who puts intersectionality at the heart of everything they do. Somebody who will carry on the work that I have started, because, oh my Lord, if somebody lets Rent, Rant and Busters go, I will find you. I will find you. I know where you work. And this needs to carry on.
And if you had one more year in sort of 2 or 3 words, what would your priority be?
Seriously or jokey?
Either.
Priority 1, find James Hare a girlfriend. Priority 2, cut the rent even further and make sure everyone is comfortable here.
Brilliant. Thank you, Steph Hayle, for joining me.
No worries. Thanks for having me.